What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel this afternoon. It's April 13th, 2017. We're going to go over NXT and the reset of NXT following WrestleMania weekend for last night's show, April 12th, 2017. If you guys have noticed, I got some new layouts done, man. I figured, you know what, let's make NXT review stand out amongst everything else instead of using the generic layout that I've been using. So, first and foremost, I gotta thank @MikeWill87 on Twitter for hooking me up with the beautiful fucking design. He actually just DM'd me this about an hour ago. I'm like, fuck, dude, I'm using this, man. Simple, it's fucking sharp, it's clean. I gotta use it. So he's actually making me one for Lucha Underground too, because Lucha Underground's coming back on May 29th, and you guys know I'll be all over that as well. So we gotta get in the swing of things, man. I gotta get all my stuff out early and let you guys know what is coming. But @MikeWill87, man, I can't speak highly enough about him. He makes everything presentation-wise as far as my WWE content goes. It just looks sharp, man. So if you guys need any layouts, if you guys need any thumbnails, if you guys are up and coming WWE YouTubers and podcasters like I do, he is simply the best, man. Easy to work with. He gets back to you. The communication's there. @MikeWill87. Make sure to show him some love. Follow him on Twitter. He's got his own brand as well that he's trying to get out there. I can't support him enough, and I can't thank him enough for making this channel look as great as it does, man. So, brother, thank you so much. You guys need to go check him out, and I always appreciate the work that he puts in to make this channel look sharp. NXT, man. We're going to talk about NXT. I love tonight's show. It was fucking awesome. It did what it needed to do. We're going to get into it. Aleister Black was on tonight's show, as well as Drew McIntyre and Dylan Miley, which we'll talk about. A lot of stuff happened that I do want to go over, including the new theme, Nakamura's farewell to NXT. A lot happened tonight that we'll go over, so we'll go over that in just a minute. I want to thank everybody for supporting the Patreon, man. We had about 180 or so, I think, 170, 180 or so patrons before Sunday's episode of Off the Script, where we got the hashtag going, FireJBL, because he's a fucking asshole. But ever since that, you know, we've been discussing the YouTube problems and the ad problems and the monetization problems on YouTube. We are, I believe someone mentioned to me, I haven't checked it yet, over 300 patrons on Patreon.com. You guys are fucking unbelievable, man. You're making everything just feel so much easier than it really is. I know Joe and I are stressing out because of the monetization thing. Some of his videos were being demonetized. I'm not getting ads on my videos, but a lot of you guys said that the SmackDown review did have ads, so hopefully YouTube is rectifying their mistake. I'm not sure about this one. Let me know in the comments if there's fucking ads on this video. But I want to thank everybody for supporting the Patreon page, man. As always, you guys are the fucking lifeblood of this channel and the reason why I do this. So thank you all so very much for believing in me and supporting in me. I'm going to make you guys proud, and I'm not going anywhere, man. I love doing this for you guys. And it's very humbling and amazing to me how many people come out and support what I do here, man. So from me to you, thank you. I can't say it enough, and every time I do have an opportunity to say thank you, I will. So I love each and every one of you guys. Also, another great way to support the channel besides the Patreon page, patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys want to do that as little as $1 a month, it'll get you early access. And listen, if we got 70 fucking thousand people pledging to the Patreon, $1, you know, it goes a long way, man. But another great way to do that is with Audible. You guys are absolutely slaying, and I mean fucking slaying the dragons in the fucking land, man, with Patreon and Audible. Audible, we had, I think we're all up to like 60 fucking signups for this month alone. We're not even through a third of the fucking month yet. It's unbelievable. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Go get yourself that new AJ Lee book, man. A lot of you guys are cashing in on it. Crazy is my superpower. I'm hearing a lot of great things about it. A lot of you guys cashed in. And you get to keep it for free, man. No matter if you guys cancel the service within the 30 days, you get to keep it for free. If you got an Android or an Apple device, No matter what you got, you're going to get Audible. It's compatible with both. And you got over 180,000 choices to choose from. If you had something in mind that's not wrestling related, I'm sure it's on there, man. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Unbelievable way to support the show and the podcast. And thank you guys for really showing love to Audible, man. They are, again, another big time sponsor here for the podcast. And I want to thank them, and I want to thank everybody that's been going to Audible and signing up with the Off the Script promo, man. Thank you guys so very much. Let's talk about NXT, man. NXT was fucking awesome tonight, I gotta admit. And one thing off the top of my head that I want to make sure you guys are aware of, I've been saying it, and I know you guys have been watching me. I didn't do an NXT review last week because there was nothing there. It was a fucking throwaway show. It was pretty much the toss-away matches from TakeOver Orlando that really didn't progress any storylines. But tonight progressed storylines. Tonight was a fresh beginning, a new beginning, a fresh start. They hit the reset button with NXT. I've been telling you guys to be patient with NXT. A lot of people have kind of drifted away, no pun intended, with Elias Sampson, who's on the main roster apparently right now. But we really don't know what he's going to be doing because he was on Monday Night Raw. But I told you guys to be patient. A lot of people drifted away from the product when, you know, the Alexa Blisses and the Finn Balors and all these other fucking guys made their main roster debut. NXT looked crippled, right? Bayley was gone. The NXT women's division was floundering. There was really nobody there but Asuka. In the meantime, we've seen Billie Kay and Peyton Royce be built up. Now we have Ruby Riott and Kimber Lee in the division. They really aren't being focused upon, but they are there, and you can see the promise that exists. You know, Nakamura is being moved up now. We had Ty Dillinger who moved up. They're both on SmackDown. The Revival is no longer there. I am more excited about what is to come with NXT now than I've been in the last year. My levels of excitement for NXT right now are reaching almost that same level when they were the hottest thing in the fucking independent scene. And they're going to achieve those heights once again. I'm telling you right now. NXT will be back to that scorching hot phase by the end of the year. I've said this several times over the past couple of months. Well before WrestleMania. Give NXT till the end of the year. This brand will not only open your eyes, but it's going to look drastically different, and it's going to achieve the same success that it did when it was hitting every fucking cylinder that there was. This is going to be an exciting period. I love when we have situations like this. We go through the ups and the downs, right? Everybody was like, oh, NXT's garbage, it's boring, there's nothing there of interest. You know, we went through that lull, that boring phase, that, you know, it's a good week, but it's really nothing to catch my interest or pique my interest or keep my interest to the next week. We just watched it out of habit. I'm excited now to see what's to come. We got Drew McIntyre. Drew Galloway made his debut tonight. We got Dylan Miley, who I really didn't know of, but I heard of. Tonight was the first night I seen him in action. And holy fucking shit, is that guy a monster. Aleister Black. Holy shit, man. I was at NXT TakeOver Orlando with Matt from WrestleRumble.com. I didn't get to see and experience the full intro of Aleister Black. I went home and watched it, immediately blew me away on the network. And I'm watching it tonight and I'm thinking, the way that they're presenting Aleister Black, and with the theme and the look and just the ambiance of him coming to the ring, he's already great at what he does in the ring. He's only going to get better. That guy has money written all over him. All over him. The rumors of Adam Cole coming in. Baby! Coming in. We got Adam Cole possibly coming in. We got Mike Bennett coming in. Hopefully. I'm hearing that Mike Bennett is coming in. You know, there was somebody else that someone made mention of on Twitter. I don't know who the fuck it was. They mentioned, it's Adam Cole and Mike Bennett. And then Drew McIntyre. Those guys are game changers, man. Adam Cole is going to be a game changer for NXT. The guy's got money written all over him. The guy is fucking legit. Okay? Mike Bennett. You know, Mike Bennett is very, very good in the ring. You know, he really wasn't presented in the right way in TNA. Obviously, he's going to be coming over to WWE. They're going to let him, you know, just leave it all out there. They're going to mold him into the Mike Bennett that we should have been seeing for the last couple of years. They're going to turn those guys into superstars. That's what NXT exists for. That's why it's there. They're great. They were great on the independent scene. We know them and their work. But once they walk through those doors, WWE is going to dissect them. How can we make this guy better? And they're going to make him into a legit superstar. Same thing with Mike Bennett and Adam Cole. It's going to be fucking awesome. And you're looking at the top of the fucking card for NXT. You got Bobby Roode. You got Aleister Black. You got Drew McIntyre. Cassius Ohno. Adam Cole. You know, that is top tier fucking talent, man. Top tier fucking talent. WWE's got the women's tournament coming up. The women's division in NXT is going to be replenished. A lot of those guys, just like the Cruiserweight Classic, a lot of those women are going to be signed. There's not one woman in that tournament that's not going to be signed to a WWE contract. The WWE signed most of the top talent from the Cruiserweight Classic. The same thing is going to happen with this women's tournament. Who's going to be in it? I don't know. I have an idea I'll probably throw out at you during this review as to what to do with the women's tournament. But the women's division is going to be replenished. So NXT is replenished just by bringing in Drew McIntyre and the hopeful signings of Adam Cole and Mike Bennett on top of Bobby Roode and Aleister Black and Andrade Cien Almas. And, you know, the top of the card is looking for Hideo Itami's going to come back. You're looking pretty fucking good, man. There's a lot to be excited about right now. And I can't wait to see what happens with NXT. Triple H did say that he is a little bit more comfortable where they are now compared to a year ago. And I can see why. It's not difficult to see why. The only weakness that is NXT is the tag team division. With the departure of the Revival, that's a big fucking team that is moving on up. But they deserve it. They're the best tag team in the world, arguably. You got DIY, Heavy Machinery, and the Authors of Pain. You add 2 or 3 more teams to NXT, and you have a perfect fucking brand. And we haven't been able to say that for a very long time. So I can't wait to see what happens with NXT. There's a lot to be excited with NXT right now. There's a lot to be excited for with NXT. Tonight, the refresh happened. They got a new intro. They got a new theme. I fucking love it, man. I actually listened to the song 2 hours before I actually watched tonight's show, and I really wasn't feeling it just by the song itself. But when they put the song over the video package and the new logo and the updated, intro, I'm like, you know what? This is fucking great, man. It's catchy. You know, it's got that rap rock type vibe to it, but I'm not really all that big into rap, but the beat behind the vocals is fucking great, and it fits NXT perfectly, man. I love it. I think it's great. I actually like it better than the last theme, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. So, right off the bat, they're giving the program a new start, a fresh start, with a new theme and a new intro and a new video package. I love it. It was fantastic. We start the show off with Aleister Black, and I don't know who he fought. Let me see if it's in my note. I have notes here that I took during the show. Corey Hollis. Aleister Black versus Corey Hollis. And I said this about Aleister Black. The guy's got money written all over him, man. His intro is fucking beast. The guy is so fucking good, man. The presentation that WWE does with their top talent. I mean, everything from the theme song to the entrance to the way he makes his entrance. You know, they know what they're doing in NXT, man. This is why I said when Kenny Omega comes into NXT that he's gonna be molded perfectly into an even bigger star than he is now. And that moment will be happening. Believe me. If Nakamura made his way into NXT and he stayed down there for a year, so is Kenny Omega. But look at what they did with Aleister Black. They took Tommy End, an indie darling, right? And they made him into Aleister Black, and look at what they transformed him into, man. Instant fucking superstar. Great fucking shit. I love his entrance, man. Quickly becoming one of my favorite themes and favorite entrances in all of WWE. That's got superstar written all over it. Corey Hollis didn't stand a fucking chance, man. Aleister Black stood with his hands behind his back. All it took was 15 seconds, and he did that Black Mass spinning back kick, nailed him right in the fucking jaw. Over. 1, 2, 3. Aleister Black didn't even break a fucking sweat on NXT tonight. He destroyed Corey Hollis in 15 seconds. And then he sat cross-legged in the ring and fucking prayed to whomever, right? He did his little seance in the ring. Money, man. He's got money written all over him. We go from Aleister Black winning in relatively quick time to Ty Dillinger backstage. Ty Dillinger is the newest SmackDown Live talent to make its way up to the main roster. He talks about how he's been working in NXT or in the Indies or, trying to work his way to the main roster for 15 years. Couldn't be happier. He's got some unfinished business with Eric Young in NXT, though. So he went to go talk to William Regal, and William Regal is giving him an opportunity to finish this feud with Eric Young. And it will be contested inside a steel cage. Next week, Ty Dillinger booked one-on-one with Eric Young inside a steel cage at Full Sail University. He says if Eric Young wants to play the numbers game with sanity, it's going to be hard because the match is going to be contested inside steel. So I can't wait to see that. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus Dylan Miley and Michael Blaze. No, not Michael Hayes, which I thought they said. Michael Blaze. He looked like Michael Blaze legitimately looked like someone who would walk out on stage in the 80s fucking playing hair metal, man. That's what he looked like. He looked like a fucking aging rocker with a blonde streak in his hair and the fucking, it just reeked of Skid Row or Motley Crue. Not that I have anything against that look, but I mean, his look is a little fucking ridiculous if you ask me for 2017. I'm just going to throw it out there for you. But DIY versus Dylan Miley, pretty much Dylan Miley. I mean, they destroyed Michael Blaze. Dylan Miley was an absolute monster of a man. And I know I heard his name from various podcasts. I believe I heard his name a few times recently on Solid Monsters podcast, and I really couldn't put a face and a physique with a name because I really didn't go out of my way to look at this guy. All I heard was that I know Sasha Banks hyped him up a while back, saying that this guy is fucking huge. He's gonna be huge. I know Brock Lesnar even made mention. Fucking Brock Lesnar made mention of Dylan Miley. The one guy that he was impressed with in the Performance Center out of everybody was Dylan Miley. And I can see why this guy is so hyped up and regarded as probably the next big thing. This guy is fucking monstrous. He's got that. He's tall. He looks like a fucking Lesnar, to be honest with you. He's a former football player, he's got that bodybuilder type physique. He's from Colorado. That's all I know of him. I don't know his background. I tried to do an extensive search on his background. All I found is that he's from Colorado. He's 320 pounds. He's got a fucking physique like Brock Lesnar with the height of a Randy Orton. And that's all I found out about him. I know that he was signed in 2013. He first reported to the Performance Center in 2014, and he's been down there ever since. This is the first time I seen him on NXT television, and holy shit, this guy did not disappoint, man. He was taking care of DIY all by himself until Michael Blaze, got into the ring and pretty much fucked things up. It eventually led to Dylan Miley and Michael Blaze's demise, as DIY did meet them in the middle. They pinned Michael Blaze 1, 2, 3. And at the end of the match, Tommaso Ciampa backed away from Dylan Miley because Dylan Miley was fucking seething with anger on the outside. He went to go, get close to Dylan Miley, and he backed away. So they're hyping this guy up, and they're building this guy up just by the actions that we seen on the show last night. This guy's going to be a big deal. Tom Phillips built him up. Percy Watson, who's awful, built him up. This guy was a legit monster. He was taking care of both of these guys by himself, and they made mention several times. Even Nigel McGuinness said Dylan Miley could have did without Michael Blaze. He probably could have took care of DIY better by himself than with a tag team partner. I can't wait to see more of this guy. I'm not too keen on the name. Maybe they change his name down the line, but this guy is definitely going to be their next project. Wait till Vince McMahon gets his hands on this guy. Holy shit. This guy is going to be big. I can't wait to see more of him. And after the match, he destroyed his own tag team partner. Big backbreakers into a huge Matanza-like Wrath of the Gods type power slam to his partner Michael Blaze. Dylan Miley really had a nice showcase on NXT. And I can't wait to see more of him. If you guys know any more background of Dylan Miley, where he came from besides just being a Colorado native and a football player, let me know, man. This guy's got 3 years in developmental. I can't wait to see how they build him up, and I can't wait to see more of him in the ring. To be honest with you, at first glance, when he was in the ring after that beatdown of his tag team partner, he kind of had that Psycho Sid type facial expression, man. This guy looked like a legit lunatic. But all in all, I can't wait to see more of Dylan Miley, and I'm glad I finally got to see what everybody's talking about. Great shit tonight by presenting him in the way that they did. Moving on here, man, we got a promo package from Ember Moon. And I don't know what they're trying to do here, but the video package was of Ember Moon walking in an empty arena after NXT TakeOver Orlando. There was no ring. The ring was broken down. The ring was gone. All there was a fucking aisleway, a ramp. She came out and complained that this was supposed to be my opportunity to prove everybody that I could do it. She wants to be the one to beat Asuka. I was supposed to beat Asuka. But it really didn't make sense for her to beat Asuka yet. They only legit built Ember Moon up in 3 weeks, and this is why I went on my preview and predictions video. I'm like, I don't see Asuka losing. I don't see Asuka losing to Ember Moon yet. If I was the creative in NXT, I wouldn't have Ember Moon beat Asuka at all. I don't think anybody should beat Asuka. I think Asuka should remain undefeated. Period. Ember Moon is not going to be the one. If I'm booking, I am not booking Ember Moon to beat Asuka. I'm sorry. I would have Asuka remain undefeated until she makes her main roster debut. And then I would continue it on the main roster until you eventually build towards a dream match of Asuka and Charlotte. Because that's where the money's going to be. Charlotte, with all the lineage and the fucking hype that's surrounding Charlotte on the main roster, how's she going to fare against Asuka, who's never been beaten? I think that's got money written all over it, man. You got to think long term here. How are you going to get the women's division to be even more important in the months and years to follow? Because right now, you got a nice nucleus of women. But you got to start thinking long term. Right now, the women's revolution, yeah, for the most part, people are enjoying it. It's not perfect. There's things I'd change, most definitely. But you got to start thinking, how do we take the women's division to the next level and keep people interested in what is to come? Asuka has money written all over her. I would not have Asuka lose, period. At all. In fact, I would have Asuka drop the fucking title. I would have her beat Ember Moon again at the next TakeOver. Whatever the fucking TakeOver, I believe it's in Chicago, right before Backlash. I would have Asuka drop the title. Nobody's going to beat me. I beat everybody. Ember Moon's the last chance. I beat Peyton Royce. I beat Billie Kay. I beat fucking, what's her name? That fucking little one from Jersey. You know, Liv Morgan. Aaliyah. All these other women that don't fucking mean jack shit to me. Right? Ruby Riott. Nikki Cross. All these women. Nothing. Nobody's even come close. You beat Ember Moon one more time, there's nothing left for me. There's nothing left for me. Drop the title. The title should be on the line, because I don't know what they're doing with this women's division. I don't know what they're doing with this tournament, rather. I would have Asuka Give the title up. Forfeit the title. I'm done. I want more competition. You move Asuka to SmackDown. You build towards Asuka and Charlotte at SummerSlam. That's what I do. That's what I do. I would make Asuka the new face of the SmackDown Live Women's Division. And I would have her beat Charlotte. Money. Right there. What do you do with the NXT Women's Championship? Well, you put it on the line in the 32 women tournament that's coming to the network. And you have Ember Moon win it there. You have Ember Moon win it there. Okay? Out of all the women that they're going to sign, I would have Ember Moon win that entire tournament. Ember Moon's the new face of the NXT Women's Division. You let it sit. You let it marinate for a little bit. Ember Moon's the champion. She eventually gets to move up to the main roster. I would have Ember Moon wait a few years before she even gets to get Asuka again. And then when Asuka is still undefeated and Ember Moon makes her way to the main roster, that's where you revisit it and that's where you beat Asuka. That's it. That's it. That's the way I'd do it. I wouldn't have Asuka be defeated by anybody. Forfeit the title, put the NXT Championship on the line, plus incentives, contract, money, a trophy, the title, whatever. Make it a big deal. But the winner of the women's tournament should be the NXT Women's Champion. That's what I would do. Asuka moves up to the main roster. You build Asuka and Charlotte for SummerSlam. Let me know what you guys think of that. Kimberly Franklin, a.k.a. Kimberly from Chikara and Shimmer, versus Ruby Riott, a.k.a. Heidi Lovelace of the same promotions. Do I have that right? Yeah, they're from the same promotions. She was in Shimmer and all those independent women promotions. I like what I've seen here. I have a lot of promise for the NXT Women's Division. And the main thing that happened in this match is that Nikki Cross came out and tried to provide a distraction at the, I guess at the cost of Ruby Riott losing this match, but it didn't happen. Ruby Riott wins. She beats Kimberly Franklin. And that was pretty much it. Nikki Cross was at ringside. She was banging on the barricade. I was actually taking notes and I looked up. She was fucking banging the barricade like a maniacal fucking crazy woman. So, it did no good. Ruby Riott wins, and that was it. You know, lariat, dropkick. Ruby Riott got those moves in on Kimberly. Head scissors into the middle turnbuckle, and then a charging kick, arm wringer, 1, 2, 3 over. Ruby Riott wins. The continuation of the feud between Riott and Nikki Cross is going to resume on NXT television. We got a video package of the Authors of Pain. Clearly, they are the kings of the tag team division, which still include DIY. Like I said, I do believe Heavy Machinery is going to be the next in line to challenge the Authors of Pain for the tag team titles. It only makes sense. I think that's going to be a very, very dynamic matchup. Can't wait to see what's going on with that. We had a backstage, I guess a backstage scenario here where Billie Kay and Peyton Royce were wandering the backstage trainer's room at the Performance Center. They run into Liv Morgan and Aaliyah. Liv Morgan didn't take kindly, neither did Aaliyah. They mocked them for being losers of the NXT Women's Division. Liv Morgan knocks Billie Kay into a hot tub that you usually sit in, like the sports players sit in after the game to just, relax their muscles. She was floundering around in the water. She couldn't get out. She was slipping all over the place, and I'm assuming we're going to see a tag team match next week of Billie Kay and Peyton Royce versus Liv Morgan and Aaliyah. Not really the most dynamic match or interesting match, but listen, at least it's giving the ladies some TV time, right? Drew McIntyre versus Oney Lorcan. So happy to see Drew McIntyre back, man. So happy. He does not have his old theme. For those wondering, he does not have his old theme. They gave him a new theme music, which is not as good, but it works. I have no problem with it. I'm so happy to see him back, man. I'm looking at Drew McIntyre come out tonight on NXT television, and I immediately get visions of what I seen Drew McIntyre doing before he was let go by WWE. He was in 3MB with fucking Juicehead Mahal and Heath Slater. Now you look at Drew McIntyre and the years that he spent away from WWE and the name that he's built up for himself. This guy is fucking legit, man. He came out wearing this medieval type fucking leather jacket with like shoulder pads. It looked fucking beast, man. He looks fucking fresh. He looks happy to be back. And I see him and Bobby Roode having an all-out war, man. I can't fucking wait. Everybody was happy to be back. He was greeted with, welcome back and chants of Drew. He's happy to be back, and he went into not only into the WWE expecting to achieve the same type of success that he had on the Indies, but he was immediately thrusted into a fucking war with Oney Lorcan. Holy shit. This match didn't last more than 5 minutes, but these guys legit beat the fuck out of each other, man. Jesus Christ. Oney Lorcan with those open-handed palm slaps that rang out throughout the entire arena. Oney Lorcan was busted open in this match. It was so hard-hitting. There was a moment here where Drew McIntyre was in a tree of woe position. He powered himself up into a sit-up position and legitimately tossed Oney Lorcan off the top rope. He eventually won this match with that Daniel Bryan-esque running single leg drop kick. Beautiful fucking move, man. They legit beat the fucking sweat off one another. It was fucking awesome. It was a main event, most definitely. There was even a moment where Oney Lorcan did a beautiful plancha over the top. He then tried to go off the top rope. Drew McIntyre caught Oney Lorcan off the top rope and slammed him onto the apron of the ring, man. I'm glad he's back. He is going to add so much to NXT. And he cut a promo after the match was over that he could have gone to Monday Night Raw. He could have gone to SmackDown. He could have did all the things that he worked so hard to achieve on those rosters, but he decided to come to NXT. Bobby Roode and Drew McIntyre is going to be a fucking war, man, and I can't wait to see what happens. Nice. I believe his finishing move is called the Claymore, if I'm not mistaken. That's in the notes I'm looking at here. But it was awesome, man. Absolutely fucking awesome. Shinsuke Nakamura, his goodbye to NXT. Crowd gave him a warm welcome. They started singing along with his theme music. He says 1 year ago he came to NXT. He already had experience. He was a champion in Japan, but he came to NXT to challenge himself and to compete with the best in the world. 1 year later, he calls NXT his home. He learned a lot of things from the NXT superstars, the coaches, and the fans as well. He says NXT is its own brand with its own energy, something new and something different. And one thing that he found out very quickly is that the NXT fans, the NXT universe, is crazy. They create chants, they start singing along to the theme music, the innovation that comes from NXT, the passion. It's different from all the other promotions that he's ever been with. NXT is your style. This is important. This is the main thing that he says. NXT is your style, he says, and he will always be NXT because we are NXT. And that's the most important thing I got from what he said, which he's getting better in his English, number one, by the way. And I mentioned on my SmackDown review, I don't give a fuck what the history is about Shinsuke Nakamura. There hasn't been many Japanese champions. I don't give a fuck what happened in the past. Not everybody is a Shinsuke Nakamura. This guy's got world champion written all over him. Okay? I think back to when Jeff Hardy was, he was the charismatic enigma, Jeff Hardy, right? What happened? The reason why they gave Jeff Hardy the first world title of his career is because the fans wanted it. Look how fucking over he was. He was outselling the bigger guys in merchandise. He was the most over wrestler in the world. And they gave him the world title when he was back in WWE. Before he went to TNA. I picture the same thing happening with Nakamura. The guy is so fucking over that you're not going to be able to ignore the love for this guy. You're not going to be able to ignore the fact that the fans want to see Shinsuke. That the fans want to cheer Shinsuke. The fans want Shinsuke at the top of the roster. They want him to be the man. And if it doesn't happen this year, I think WWE will have dropped the ball in one of the biggest shames that I think they could ever commit. Nakamura and AJ Styles has to be the main event of WrestleMania this year. I'm sorry. It has to be. I don't give a fuck what you got to do. I don't give a fuck what you think of Nakamura, being that he's Japanese and, Japanese talent coming on into the WWE really don't have all that much success. Not everybody can call themselves Shinsuke Nakamura. The guy's a legit fucking megastar in WWE. And I don't think Vince McMahon and all the fucking, senile thoughts he has in his head, I don't think Vince McMahon is going to be able to ignore and, kind of move away from the fact that Shinsuke Nakamura needs to be unlike everybody else. It's a new time. It's a new era. Nakamura is going to be WWE champion by 2018. Mark my words. NXT is your style. He says he will always be NXT because we are NXT. Soon after that, he's doing his thing in the ring. The entire locker room comes out to the stage and starts giving him a standing ovation, farewell. He slides out of the ring. He bows to William Regal. And right as the camera cuts off, Finn Balor comes out, hugs him, and they go to black. And Shinsuke Nakamura bids farewell to NXT. But that was a great show, man. It really was. I'm excited for to see the restart and the refresh of NXT. I am more excited now than I've ever been for NXT. It's only going to get better. We got another takeover coming up in about a month, maybe a month and a few weeks in Chicago of all places. So Chicago, you better bring your fucking your wrestling pants and your fucking chants, because I want to see that crowd go fucking nuts for what we got planned with NXT, man. But it was a great show. I'm very excited to see where this brand ends up. And I told you guys, do not sleep on NXT. They will be right back to being just as hot as they were before the Balors and all those guys moved up. The Baileys, the Sashas, the Charlottes. It's going to be back, and they're going to be back to the prominence that they once had. Believe me, just give it time. Adam Cole, Mike Bennett, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Roode, Cassius Ohno, Hideo Itami, the women's tournament. Give it time. There's a lot of good stuff coming with NXT. But that's my review, guys. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And I will be back on Friday with Off the Script. Thank you all so much. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Audibletrial.com/Off the Script for your 30 days free to try the service out with one free audio book. And barbershopwindow.com/Off the Script for your t-shirts, man. $19.99, 9 different designs on there. They ship worldwide. 3 great ways to support this podcast, this show, and this channel. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you all right back here tomorrow for Off the Script. Until then, I am JD. Enjoy your Thursdays, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning.